Welcome to NRI Voice on PILUPU TV. This is your host Gopinath. Today we have in our studio Professor Dr.Rao Mulpuri Garu, who is an educator for the past 38 years. He received his PhD degree in electrical and computer engineering in Oregon State University in 1985 and his MTech from IIT Bombay and BTech from JNTU College of Engineering, Kakinada. He has been a faculty member in the Department of Electrical and Computer Engineering at George Mason University from 1984 and as a professor since 1993. So far, he has supervised 20 completed doctoral theses and currently supervising 3 more. He published more than 150 book chapters and articles in many international journals. He wrote books for teaching math for kindergartners in 1990s and also founded Curie Learning, which focuses on K-12 advanced learning, and also founded Madam Curie Preschools. As you see, he is one of the few people in the world who have comprehensive knowledge in the field of education from pre-K to PhD level. We are happy to interview Professor Rao Garu today on education. We will be presenting this interview in segments based on which grade levels the discussion is going on. Hello Rao Garu, very nice to meet you.
Same to me.
Thank you sir. Thank you very much for coming to our studios and giving us much information about the child's education, and thanks a lot for being here.
Thanks a lot for you. I have to thank you because you are giving me an opportunity to communicate with the community through PILUPU TV. I'm very happy to be here.
Thank you, sir. So without delaying further, so I have plenty of questions for you that are being asked by our PILUPU TV viewers, especially those parents. So yeah, before
no problem. Go ahead. Start the questions.
So yeah, before going into those actual questions, so let me ask you this. So why are you interested in the field of education?
Because it is in my family blood. My father was a teacher and retired as a high school headmaster in Jilla Parishad High Schools in the Krishna district.
Right.
And he also received the Best Teacher Award from the state government. So he's not only a teacher, a very good one, and he took education field as a commitment to basically nurture the children and make them into productive citizens of the country. So I saw it firsthand, what my father was doing, and then that was the reason why I got interested in the field of education. And my sister also retired recently 1 year ago as a high school headmaster in the Krishna Jilla Parishad High Schools as well.
Nice. That's truly inspirational, sir. That's
Thank
truly
you.
inspirational. First, let's focus on this early elementary school level of education. So, what is the best age to start nursery or preschool education?
It depends, okay? To tell you the truth, there isn't a better teacher than a parent. A parent can do the job well. But many times what happens is, it's very difficult for many parents to be good teachers as well, okay? So that's where you need educational institutions to do the education job for the child. In my opinion, 2-year-old, okay, can start. If the parents are working, for example, then I suggest 2 years.
Okay.
If the parents are not working, they can wait until the child is a 3-year-old because that is a good enough age. If the parent is doing the job at home on the 2-year-old teaching alphabets, numbers and small simple words and that kind of stuff at home, then they can wait until the child is a 3-year-old.
Nice.
Okay.
Clear.
Yeah.
And is the preschool supposed to be a play-oriented or academic?
What happens, this is a big question, okay? in the old education system, preschool was always considered as a play school.
Right.
That's why some schools were actually named as play schools. But unfortunately, the recent research proves that the more early we start the education for the child, the better the child is in the long run. Because the child's brain is like a sponge. It can absorb the knowledge very quickly and also at a much better rate compared to an adult's brain, basically. So what researchers are saying is that old kind of thinking is not the right way to go, because look at it. The field of knowledge has expanded so much compared to what was 80 years ago, 100 years ago. There is abundance of knowledge available. So we cannot wait until the child is 4, 5, 6 years old or something like that to start them absorb the knowledge.
Right.
So that's why, and it doesn't mean that education has to be at the expense of the play, because there is no way that you can teach a 3-year-old or a 4-year-old the entire the school time. Okay,
Right.
So it should be a combination of both.
Right.
Means teach them something for half an hour, give them a break for another 30 minutes or 45 minutes, and then teach them a little bit more. So it should be combination of both, basically. Have to happen together.
Right.
Because there is no way you can engage a child over an extended period of the time in the pursuit of knowledge.
Right.
And also, the knowledge can be made as a fun also.
Right.
So we can teach them the knowledge through fun activities.
Right.
So both play and knowledge are together
Right.
in that situation.
Nice.
Yes.
As well, they have plenty of resources these days rather than those
Correct.
days. So they absorb quite a lot of this.
Quite a lot, because we have now digital now the avenues available to teach them. And also there is a tremendous change in the way the kids look at the world today.
Right.
I have observed several 10-month-olds, okay? Just give them a cell phone, they just don't look at it. They keep moving the screen with touch of the hand. You're 10-month-old, okay? So if you give to this child who is used to this high technology, even before the child turns 1-year-old, it is impossible for us to engage them with the old system of giving them the blocks and all that, because it won't. That is so boring for them.
Yes.
So the new technology is there, and they are exposed to the technology even before they turn 1-year-old.
Yes.
So and at the same time, I want you to understand, the child's mind is very curious. They not only want to use this technology, they would like to know why. Okay? The why question is prevalent right now among the children compared to the children 20, 25 years ago, when the current parents were the children,
Right.
okay, 25, 30 years ago. That was a different situation compared to what it is today.
So is it required to introduce STEM early, or it could wait until elementary school?
Yeah, just now,
Yeah.
we already talked about it. Because the children are not only interested in the gadgets and the things they see around us on daily basis, they would like to know why it is happening that way. And our own experimentation proved that even we don't experiment on a 2-year-old actually.
Right.
But when we started giving STEM curriculum from a 3-year-old onwards, we saw a lot of curiosity. In fact, they are more interested to learn. If you make them do an experiment, like for example, the how clouds are formed, how rain is happening. Okay, so when you explain them the cycle, okay, water cycle basically, how it is formed into lakes and whatever, and then make them do some practical demonstration of the whole thing and make them do it on their own. Now they will ask you next day, what am I going to do today? Basically. So it is not a botheration on the child actually. They would like to know it because they learn it, go and explain to the parents what they learned on that day, and the parents say that, wow, okay, So I didn't even know that. Even if they know, but because to encourage the children, they know. So next day when they go home, they want to impress the parent again by telling them something new. So in this process, it is an avenue for us to gain, for the child to gain appreciation from the parents and from their outside friends and other aunts and uncles by telling these stories about the knowledge they are gaining in the classroom. So there is no early age, in my opinion, to start learning about STEM.
Okay.
Yeah.
As well, as you said, even the parents have these smartphones and touch devices.
Correct.
And the kids are so fascinated with those touch things.
Mm-hmm.
So as you said, early ages itself, by 1 or 2 years old, a 2-year-old can operate an iPhone easily.
Correct.
A cell phone easily.
Yeah, obviously then they would like to know how the cell phone works and things like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So thank you. So the next question is it required to teach moral values in preschool, or is it responsibility of parents?
I think in the early age nowadays, when the kid is 3, 4, 5-year-old, they are spending considerable amount of time in the schools right now. And also, the kid thinks that the parent, they take liberty with the parents.
Mm-hmm.
Even if the parent is telling something, sometimes it sinks in. For some parents, it is a difficult task to make the child really listen to them. So means making the child listening to them and put it in practice is a daunting task for some of the parents.
Yeah.
On the other hand, in the school, if the third party is telling them, it is a teacher telling them what is right, what is wrong, then it is easy to teach them moral values, social service.
Right.
This kind of thing can be taught in an easier fashion by a third person at school. Actually, I heard from somebody long ago telling that, I don't remember who it is, that everything that I need to know in my life, I learned in my kindergarten. So the person is not talking about the knowledge, the moral values, how I interact with the other human beings, like caring, and also the sharing, sharing the toys they have. Caring about the other child means giving whatever they have to the other child, caring about the feelings of the other child. So these things happen best at the schools rather than when you try to teach them at home. You can see it. A kid who is at home for years, like until they are 4 or 5, they come to the school for the first time when they are 4-year-old or a 5-year-old. It takes considerable amount of time for them to get adjusted to this caring and sharing, because they got used to playing on their own with their own toys. They don't want to share it with anybody. So this, and also appreciation for diversity, especially in our American context. It is very important that they get used to dealing with kids from other racial backgrounds. If that happens early, then the possibility of any prejudices and possibility of any discrimination they may be having inside their mind, to dispel these things, it's very good to expose them to the moral values and social service early on in the kids' life.
Yeah, thank you. That's plenty, sir. So, what are the things the parents look for in selecting a preschool?
They have to look at a lot of things. For example, who is the owner of the school? First of all, so if the owner, I'm talking about Indian context, for example. In India, the real estate people who are involved in the real estate business, they have tons of money to unload. So they started schools, basically. So the owner's thing is not to serve the child to make more profits. That is the motive, basically. So the parents have to look at that aspect. Who is behind this school? Is it profit motivated, or is there any service factor? Look, playing an important role in the early elementary education of a child, and it is a godly given opportunity. If they take it that way, it is an opportunity I am getting to mold this child into a wonderful human being and a productive citizen of the future, because that is the role of early elementary education. Giving that background, both academic background and the moral background that is required for the child to become a well-rounded human being later. So that is one thing. And then, who is the principal? Who are the teachers in the school? So that is also very important. What kind of classroom size do they have? Is it a school having 150 or 200 preschoolers, or is it a smaller program? Okay, where my kid will get more focus. Okay, and what kind of facilities do they have? So means the physical facilities I'm talking about. If they put lot of kids, okay, the state government says that within this area you can put this many number of kids. Are they packing the school until the limit that is kicking into as dictated by the state government? Or are they taking lesser number of students for the space so that my kid will have more breathing space basically? And also curriculum. Because as we discussed in the beginning, preschool is a great time for the kid to get basically basic education. Now, even the government right now, in some jurisdictions, they want to have early elementary education programs open to give early start for the pursuit of learning basically. So that is also important. Look at the curriculum. Ask them to show some lessons, some activities, what they do. So, and what kind of playgrounds do they have? Okay. I understand that in some urban settings, it's very difficult to have bigger playgrounds. That's okay. If they don't have bigger playgrounds, at least inside, do they have enough breathing space for the kid? So these are the important things they need to look at in selecting a preschool.
Thank you, sir. So before going to the next set of questions, we'll take a quick break.
Dedicated mentor. Madam Curie's School of Science and Technology is exemplary for early childhood education, focusing on STEM and arts. A fun, safe, and caring place. A warm environment for kids to discover, explore, learn, and grow. Built to develop the social and cognitive skills of every child. Curie Learning After School is a premier after-school institute for academic excellence from kindergarten to high school, enrichment and advancement programs in English, math, and sciences, skilled coaching for Thomas Jefferson, Academy of Science, Academy of Engineering and Technology, SAT, and ACT, contributing more than 10% of freshmen to Thomas Jefferson every year. Curie Learning, the one-stop shop for all your kids' academic needs. Visit us at www.curielearning.com.
Welcome back, PILUPU viewers. So we are with Dr. Rao Garu. He is providing us plenty of information about education relating to our kids. So thank you, Rao Garu, for answering all these questions. And I still have a few more questions.
No problem.
So, what do you think? The tuition fee should play a big role in deciding the right preschool for kids?
Yes or no?
Okay.
So, yes, in case of, there are a lot of overpriced schools. Okay, I don't want to name them, but in my opinion, it is obscene for the preschools to charge $2,000, $2,200 or even $1,800, $1,900 for a preschool education. So, and unfortunately, a lot of parents, some of them think that paying a lot of money means maybe something good is done in that school. So that's why they should put their children in these expensive schools. Okay? But they have to look into what they are getting out of it. Just because there is a good brand name, it doesn't mean that your kid is getting a good education from that branded school. And spending unnecessary money early on is a waste of money. And I want parents to know that they have to save a lot of money for their kids' higher education later. Colleges are very expensive nowadays. So don't throw away money unnecessarily. Yes, in that respect, yes, they have to really look into how much they are paying for the service they are getting. No, in case of another one. On the other hand, I have seen some parents who can afford reasonable tuition fee, but they always look for cheap preschools, cheap deals, basically. So they are making a big mistake, basically. The reason is, I have visited some schools. They have put, it looks more like a kennel, dog's kennel than a preschool. So many kids were put into unhygiene conditions, and hardly any education happens other than just alphabets, 1, 2, 3, which the parent can teach at home. And it is not expanding the horizons of the child in a situation. They think that I want to save this money. They look for $700, $800, $900 kind of preschools where they know in their heart that the kid is not getting good quality education. They do not see the value of preschool education. They think that it's too early for me to spend money, and also education is not that important. Let the kid just grow. I will worry about it later in the elementary school level. But it is a very bad choice. They have to find a school which is giving the best value for the money they are spending. $800 school will give 800 level value only. Okay, but at the same time, $1,800 or $2,000 school is not giving the worth for the money they are spending. So they need to look at the schools which are not too cheap or too expensive, but who are more focused on giving quality education at an affordable price. So they look at the price, but what am I getting out of it? Is my kid getting the quality preschool education? Because quality preschool education is very important for the academic success of the child in the later years, like elementary school and middle school and even high school. A quality early elementary school education gives a big start, which is going to help the child to get into even gifted and talented programs, or some counties they call it AAP program, Advanced Academic Placement programs like that.
It's nice. Yeah, that's a nice, good answer, sir.
Yeah.
So most people, I have some of my friends in the same range. Some people were looking at cheaper ones. Some people were looking at the higher ones. So we call it Telugu. Pindi koddi rotte.
Correct. Pindi koddi rotte up to certain extent, but some schools, because of their popular brand name, are capitalizing on making exorbitant profits out of it.
Right.
Okay. But I want to bring something here. And I want you to understand, preschool education is not too profitable if you run it ethically, and also when you want to, ethically in the sense, reasonable charge and giving quality education. So that's why don't think that it is highly profitable. Some schools which are charging $1,900, $2,000, $2,200 are highly profitable. But the guys who are charging you $1,100, $1,200 and still give quality education, they don't really make much profit. It has been proved actually. A study was performed and it was proved that typical profit margin in a preschool education that is run ethically is no more than 5 to 10% out of the total revenue they make.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Thank you, sir. So another question. So is it absolutely required to send the child for all-day preschool, or preschool kindergarten program, or half-a-day program is good enough for that?
Okay, what happens is, I think we touched it in the beginning, okay? So if the parent can do the job at home, and the parent is a stay-home mom or stay-home dad. Nowadays, there are situations where moms are working, dads are home. If they can engage the child in some of the activities, okay, like teach them moral values, and then also teach some of the other things also, then it is okay to go for the half-day program. No problem. If the parent can do some of the job, okay, constructively, okay, then not a bad idea to go for the half-day program, because in the half-day program, the more focus is on the academic part, and of course they also take care of some art and some moral values and all that. But academic program is the focus in the half-day programs. that is good enough. Because some parents, if it is a single earning parent and other parent is home, why do you want to waste your money on the regular babysitting kind of part of the all-day school?
Right.
Because in an all-day school, 3 to 4 hours are only regular babysitting kind of activity towards the end of the day. They don't have to waste their money unnecessarily if one of the parent is home. On the other hand, if both parents are working and let us say some people put the child, 4 or 5 people are put under the care of one parent.
Right.
Okay? So this parent is not even capable of providing quality training to the kid. Training doesn't mean educational training. Other parts like caring, sharing and other kind of education, the parent is not capable. Obviously in a situation like that, a full day program, if the parents can afford that $1,100-$1,200 per month, it is a good idea to go for a full day program.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. So, I think you almost answered this question. What about half-a-day kindergarten program?
Yeah, half-day kindergarten program, public schools,
Right.
you are talking about.
Yeah.
Okay, most of the public schools in most of the jurisdictions have half-day program only. So the problem with the public education is they have to deal with a kid who is well prepared in their pre-K and preschool level.
Right.
So these are the kids who already learned not only alphabets,
And
2, 3, addition, subtraction,
Right.
and then 2, 3 letter words, and then even constructing a simple sentence and all that. They already learned that. On the other hand, there are some kids who are coming to a school for the first time with inadequate preparation, prior preparation at home. So, in the public education, the kindergarten, they have to cater everybody. So, what they do is they cater to somebody in between. So, the kid will get bored with a low level of teaching alphabets or 2-letter, 3-letter words for the first time to them because they already know that.
Yeah.
Okay? On the other hand, for the kid who is at a very low level, they are learning for the first time. It is a wonderful learning opportunity for them.
Exactly.
So how to balance this? Public schools have no clue because I don't blame them for that because they have to cater to every taxpayer's child.
Right.
So in that aspect, the top 50% of the kids who are already capable of handling a higher level material are lost basically. They are underserved. So in a situation like that, it is a good idea for them to send their child to half-day kindergarten in a private school, basically.
Okay.
So that the why? Then you may be asking, then why don't you send the kid for the full day kindergarten in a private school? Since some jurisdictions they have a rule. If the kid is not in their kindergarten program, then they don't give admission to grade 1, right away.
Okay.
So they have to put the kid in the kindergarten program in a public school for the kid to get easy admission into to grade 1 program.
Okay.
So that's why it's a balance between choosing the private school half day for the education part and the other half day so that the kid will be able to get into the public education system. Not only that, in the private schools, class sizes are small. In the public education is bigger. So you just expose the kid to that experience of able to fit into the bigger classroom size early on so that they won't get lost in the later years.
That brings another question to me, sir. So you said when these kids go to the public school, and 50% of the kids might have gone through the preschool education, and you also said the things that are taught in the school might be boring to those 50% of the kids, and you also said they might be lost. So can you elaborate that?
Yes, because you do not want the kid to be bored in the pursuit of gaining knowledge early on in their life. So, but public education has a limitation, as we just discussed, because they have to cater to the kids from various backgrounds, basically.
Every taxpayer.
Correct. So now, do we let our kid to get bored, or do we let the learning process to keep happening regardless of what the child is getting in the public school. That is the dilemma right now. So, in my opinion, you can compromise your child's learning or the knowledge generation because other kids are not able to catch up with your kids' level. Okay? So, the good compromise is let them attend the public school for half day and let the kid go to a private program for the remaining half day and then still continue the process of advanced learning so that the kid later in the elementary school GT entrance and all those criteria, the kid can easily satisfy those criteria.
Okay. Thank you. That was one of the questions that few of my friends had. Even I think I have that question.
Okay.
Thank you.
No
Thank
problem.
you very much. So the next question will be: do you think homework should be given to pre-K and kindergarten students as well?
I don't believe in giving homework related to the academics. Okay? Unless something like this happens. Let us say there is an activity the kid is working on. It may be related to math or language arts or regular coloring or any other activity.
Right.
But the kid is not able to finish it. But there comes the playtime. We cannot ask the kid, okay, the rest of them are playing, you continue and finish your thing before you come outside to play. It doesn't work with the kids like that. But at the same time, we need to teach them the responsibility of completing the activity. In a situation like that, you should give that as a homework. In the sense, you take it home, finish it at home and bring it next day. So it is not a homework. Teaching the kid the responsibility of completing whatever they are doing. That's what it is. So teaching the responsibility. For the kids who are completing the activities at the school, in whether it is STEM or language arts and the regular coloring or any other moral related activities, then there is no need to give any homework at that age level. So I would like to actually see the kid go home not having any homework in a situation like that, and the parents having a good time with the kid, exchanging what happened in the school on the day, that information, and then trying to converse with the kid. They need to know every day, rather than thinking that, okay, he came out of the school, let us talk about other things. Ask the child, what did you learn today? Give them an opportunity to explain. So that improves their communication skills, oral communication skills, by asking the questions about what happened on that day. Rather than, if you don't do that, later years, let us say when they are in middle school, high school, you ask a question, you ask them, look, what happened in the school, they usually don't tell you much. Not much, that is the answer they give. So it is a way for the parents to improve the oral communication skills of the kid by asking what happened in the school today. And also doing some fun activities, the family time, that is the bonding, developing that bonding. I know that a lot of parents come home with frustration at work because the deadlines at the work are not having a good day with the colleagues or with the manager or whatever. This is my sincere advice for the parents. Never express your frustrations with your child, basically. So leave your frustrations at work when you are out of the entrance door of your workplace. And with your child, forget about every frustration that you had on that day at work. And then spend the time, joyfully with the child. When you get angry at a child for the little reason, that's not going to be helpful for the mental growth of the child. Then you are stopping the communication. You are creating a communication barrier. That's not good for the progress of the child.
Thank you very much, Mr.Rao Garu, for coming to our studios, giving plenty of information to all those parents who will be sending their kids to preschools. That's a wealth of information from a big professor.
This time I'm not a professor. I'm a preschool educator, basically.
Educator.
Yeah, that is true. It is a great pleasure for me to give advices to the parents. Actually, one of the important things for me is not only educating the children, but giving advice, proper advice to the parents. We consider that as a very, very important of child's education. But giving proper counseling and proper advices to the parent is a part of their child's education as well. Okay? Unfortunately, a lot of preschools do not do a good job. They think that their role is only to interact with the child. They don't give enough time for the parents to answer their questions and to give them proper advice. Unless the kid is very bad and giving trouble, then they call the parents to the school and then start talking to them. I think that is a very bad strategy. They should give advice to the parents before any problem develops. Okay? So the parents should also seek the advice from the knowledgeable senior parents, because senior parents already went through this. They can get some advice from there and some advice from the principals of the preschools or any other avenues nowadays. Just like the way electronic media is available, they can go to the YouTubes or PILUPU TV or whatever to get knowledge about raising a child.
Yeah, thank you very much. That gives us plenty of information about preschool education, and we'll have a few more questions about elementary school educations from the next episode. So viewers, please stay tuned to PILUPU TV. Watch us on piluputv.com. Connect to us on Facebook and YouTube. Thank you very much.
Thank you.